Hello guys, Bear here. We're going to talk about the announcement that was made on Facebook about Kittyhawk and Panda closing down. This was the announcement, that was it. Just a mere 4 or 5 words. And of course, this went all over the internet, of course, basically on Facebook, the social media sites, the announcement that these companies are closing down. And there's some speculation as to why and if they are or not. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but also going to talk about the Kittyhawk and Panda catalogue to sort of discuss their kits and what they offered or will maybe offer in the future, maybe under different guise. But first of all, about that announcement, obviously that flew around everywhere and people started talking and chatting. To note as well that I didn't actually realise that Panda was and Kittyhawk were one and the same. That was news to me. I only knew that from this announcement. But besides that, when it was announced, what happened was obviously there's a mixture of reactions to that. You know, some people actually, you know, good riddance, glad to see the back of them and all this. I'm really surprised when I read stuff like that. I mean, you know, people have lost their jobs, they've, you know, lost investments, and you know, it's nothing to gloat about. In my opinion, I'm not happy about it. When I saw this myself, I wasn't like shocked or like, oh my god, that's happened or anything. I just thought, well, you know, that does happen. You know, companies do fold, and there's going to be, you know, there's a number of reasons why that can happen. There's a lot of speculation because Kittyhawk, they aren't really out there. They weren't out there in the social sphere. They weren't, you know, touting, you know, what's going on. But there was a lot of kit announcement news from them recently that had people, you know, in anticipation. But they hadn't put anything on their social page since December. And then this popped up, and then people sort of said a number of things. One of the most recent rumors is that they are not actually closing down, which is, you know, hard to believe. And then there's another rumor, which I don't know how people come up with this, but they said that Kittyhawk had made too many kits, and that basically they just see, you know, they're just basically pausing, which again is basically rubbish, because the fact is that they're a manufacturer, so they have a factory. Factories don't hold kits. They're not a stockist. They're not in that business. They're a producer. So that, as far as that, is just garbage, you know. Now, what can happen in the future is speculation, but more than likely, some of those molds will be bought or, you know, distributed, whatever. They're going to be probably out in the market again. So I don't think we'll see the end of all of these kits. Then the other thing, of course, is, you know, why they close. There's a lot of people speculating as to why, and we can guess or whatever, but the fact of the matter is that basically, you know, model companies and all businesses, some of them do close down, they fold. And besides, you know, very rarely some, you know, catastrophe like the factory burning down the ground or all the staff walking out or some strike or something unusual, there's really only 2 reasons, or maybe 3, why, you know, a company would close down. One is, you know, basically the owners decide, you know, well, I want to retire and sell off my business and not do this anymore. Unlikely, basically. The most likely scenario is that basically they weren't making enough profit, the banks wouldn't support them, and then they're operating at a massive loss, and basically the liquidators come in because they owe too much money to whoever's offered them credit or whatever. That's the most likely scenario, that they just weren't making money. And then the third one, which is a possibility, we'll talk about it, is that another company's come along and made an offer on them and said, guys, we've been looking at you, we know you're suffering, and we're going to offer to buy you out. So that those scenarios are most likely, I would just think that they have suffered, like a lot of businesses have. This At this point in time, of course, this pandemic, etc. But modeling, they say it's booming at the moment. But what's brought on this video is there's going to be a sequence of videos that I was going to make, and it's been brought forward because of this announcement. So I'll explain all that stuff later on. So assuming that they're going to close down completely, what's likely to happen is that the molds will be bought by others. I mean, there's just too much investment in those molds to just let them disappear. It's very, very unlikely we won't see all those, some of those kits again. Maybe not all of them, but some of them I'm sure we're going to see. And now let's talk about another scenario as well. Now, the other scenario I mentioned was that they may have been bought out, and that's happened before. Now, who would buy them out? I think the most likely company would be Trumpeteer, subject to their own economics, and their finances. They've done it previously. They certainly bought all the molds for TriStar, and those are currently available. So you see the Panzer 1s, Panzer 2s, the Marders from that were previously under TriStar are available under Hobby Boss, I think, at the moment. And the other one that they bought out, I think the last one they bought out was Gallery Models, which produced all these UH-34 variants. And those are currently available under the Trumpeteer banner. So they didn't, enhance the kits. They just make those kits and they're available. So I would say Trumpeteer, maybe. But there's another sort of factor. We're going to talk about that now. Let's have a look at the catalogue and just have a look at their kits. Okay, so as a background, here's Kittyhawk. They were active 2012. They started up, and and they put the cease on it at 2021. And just one other point as well, just to sort of make a note here. These rumours about them still existing as well. One of the major distributor in the UK, one of the sites has already removed Kittyhawk in its entirety from the website. But let's just have a look at the kits anyways, and let's just have a discussion about them, what we think. Now, the first actual range are these egg style kits. I didn't even know Kittyhawk made them. I really didn't realise that they had them in the catalogue. So I'm not really going to discuss them. They aren't really what Kittyhawk represents. We're going to talk about that recently. What they did do was a number of different genres, all aircraft, and more in particular helicopters as well. And they had let's have a look at the catalogue. They had MiG-25, which is an expensive kit as well, believe me. And that kit's covered now by ICM in 48 scale. I don't know what the kit is like, if it's good, bad, or indifferent. The F-35, they touted this one in 1/72nd scale. And what happened was it never got released, basically. The 72 scale stuff did not appear. And we're going to see that as we walk down this catalogue, that you're going to see more and more that they just didn't actually come out. This one was announced in 2014. 72 scale F-35 did not appear. So basically, of this 105 catalogue items, some of them were not released. They were announced. And of course, they'll never come out as well. You're going to see that more and more, the trend. Now, they brought out two of these T6 Texans, 132 scale as well. 132 scale aircraft, not a lot of people make it. It's basically, Kittyhawk did jump into this genre. And I thought this aircraft would be massively popular if you're a 32 scale aircraft fan. And then there's the Bronco. Now, I think this proved to be problematic for quite a few builders. I don't know. I'm not going to sort of hold reserve. I can only give you my one experience, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, this F86 Saber Dog, I think it'd just be an awesome subject to cover, really, that they actually did this. It was, it's to see it in 32 scale, I thought it would be a popular kit if you're a 32 scale aircraft builder again. And they followed that up with an F86K, and that was used by basically everybody, So you think, these kits would have some popularity. There's nothing else to rival them. P39 as well, I would have thought as well, interesting subject as well in 32 scale. Not many, I don't think there's another one tooled. And again, the T28 as well, interesting. Kingfisher. And now we'll come on to another one of these announcements. So they did this F11F, they announced it in 2016. It did not appear. So that was I didn't even know that was announced. Now the F5s, these were, I think these must have been popular. It's an absolutely beautiful looking jet. Used by so many different air forces, and I don't know about the model, but I just imagine that would be a popular. If I was 132 scale jet guy, Tiger, I would want a Tiger in my stash. And they followed up with the F5F, and now this announcement was here's another announcement. The 32 scale Jaguar, it never appeared, but we're going to talk about the Jaguar a bit more because those people. That's 2016. I can remember on the forums, everybody, waiting and bated breath. They're going to do a 32 scale Jaguar, and they didn't produce one. And why didn't they produce one? I've got a good idea why. But besides that, now the Mirage 2000 as well. That is, one of their most recent kits. They did the two-seater as well, the 2000D. Who would have thought we'd see a 32 scale Mirage 2000? I think Revell might have done one, but not up to today's standards. So I tell you, it's expensive. It's at the higher end of kits. 130 euros, $140. So that's an expensive investment, but they did it. They produced that. Yeah. This was another announcement. They announced this in 2019. The A5 in 32 scale. It's not going to happen. It never will happen. How many people were disappointed time and time again seeing these announcements and not seeing them materialize? Now, I'm wondering if they were developing it. There might have been an impact because Zukimura, SWS, are bringing out Focke-Wulfs and 109s in 32 scale. And another massive disappointment was this one again, the UH-1D, famous Huey, Vietnam era in 35 scale. 35 scale is the sort of de facto helicopter scale. And this was announced, and again, I remember everybody wanted to see a new scale Huey in 35th. It didn't happen. It was announced. Everybody got excited about it in 2019. It did not happen. We don't know the reasons why or what for. It just didn't happen. They did do the Little Bird, and this is where this is where I associate Kittyhawk at doing, pretty good, is the 35 scale helicopters. So they did all the Little Birds, and they brought out some resin figures in some of the sets, like this one. It had resin figures. So you got like a really good kit. And this is, if I think of Kittyhawk, I think of this Black Hawk as being, a really, really awesome looking kit. But again, it's not exclusive to Kittyhawk because Academy also have MH60s. But I think if I was after a Black Hawk, I would get this kit. There's quibbles. I've heard, that the instructions may pose some difficulties, but The kit itself, I've seen it built up, looks fantastic. And they brought out so many versions. The most recent releases that they brought out in 2021, so the last sort of releases, was all these, the navalized versions. So, you know, Seahawk, which just looks absolutely incredible. I think it looks so, you know, as a helicopter, it looks amazing. And I'd certainly want to get that kit. If I was doing the 35th scale helicopters. I think all of these got released. So many, every single version got released of these, you know, the HH60 model. That UH-1B, again, just didn't happen. And it probably would have done them well. The F-94 and 48 scale, I don't know. I think that was one of the very first releases. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I think GWH did something similar. And the F-35 as well. That was, I think it was well received in terms of, you know, it was one of the first 48 scale F-35s that came out. But I know that there were some issues with it, in particular the detail around the positional nozzle is entirely absent, so you have to, you know, Imagineer it or scratch build it. The Lightning II as well, that was one of the first kits as well that they did of that one as well. So that was the other version of the F-35. And this is okay. Now here's my relationship with Kittyhawk. The Jaguar in 48. They brought out this one first, the Jaguar A version. That was announced, and immediately people knew that there was going to be a GR1, GR3. And this is the kit I bought. I bought the GR1, GR3. And I remember people saying how badly they needed a new Jaguar GR3 in 48 scale or GR1. They wanted the new Jaguar. Everybody all over the forums, it's coming, it's coming. How many did you actually see built? I can only a handful, honestly. Yeah, I bought the kit. Did I build it? Yes. Did I have problems? Yes, I did. I built it, and I had problems with the gear base, and basically I became frustrated with it, and all I did, I just sealed it up, the gear base, and did it posed in the flying configuration. But I think, you know, there was some, what I remember is there was some parts that were proven to be difficult. It wasn't the easiest build, let's put it that way. But besides that, pretty good kit. Were they popular? Were they successful? I very much doubt it, because I think the proof in the pudding is that they didn't do the 32 scale Jaguar. That, again, if you listen to the forums, everybody wanting a 32 scale Jaguar, how many were going to put their money where their mouth were? Very few. So that Jaguar, I just have a feeling it didn't do that well for them, to be honest. And that was one of their initial kits, and they announced this one, you know, like to sort of bring it up to get the two-seater with a, you know, like a loading dolly to sort of, you know, bring it up, you know, like a bonus pack thing. Again, announced, didn't happen, and it will never happen. The Delphin in 48 scale. So helicopters, they did in 48 and in 35th. 35th being de facto helicopter scale. I prefer 48 just because of it's basically the shelf real estate that these things take up. Helicopters take up a lot of room. And if we talk about helicopters in general, they, I like them. I really do. I like them. I've got some incoming. We'll talk about that in a while as well. But to me, helicopters, I like building them. I think they're interesting. They make great subjects. But for aircraft builders, they tend to just stick either props or jets. Helicopters don't seem to factor. And sometimes the armor guys sort of wander into the helicopter territory. They seem to be a bit of a niche following, but Kittyhawk did provide that product. You know, they did have that in their books. So it was it's a pity. I'm sure there's a lot of helicopter fans that are upset, and we'll see that later on as well. Now, the 48 scale Mirage F1, I think that I couldn't tell you about it, if it was popular or otherwise, if it was a good kit or not, but it was in their catalogue and they did it. Here's another MiG-25. This Voodoo I thought would have been massively popular. You know, a Century Series jet, you know, big, interesting subject. And by all means, it's meant to be, you know, this is later on, 2018, sort of vintage. It's meant to be a good kit to build as well. But who knows? Again, I didn't see many built up. They did the A, the C. They did even the another version, the reconnaissance version. So they were good enough to follow up all versions of what they did. The Gripen, I don't know, again, if it was popular or otherwise. European fighter. To me, the aircraft hasn't got that oomph. It hasn't got that bite to it, you know. But it may, you know, I mean, the fact that they did it is pretty good. But I think now Tarangas may offer it, or there is another manufacturer looking out there. Is it likely to be retooled? Or like Blatter again? I don't know. Another MiG-25, the Sea Sprite, again for helicopter fans in 48 scale. I think this is one of the first ones. I think that would have been popular with the helicopter fans, I'm speculating. And here again, you're going to see another disappointment. This was announced, and I mean, this helicopter needs to be done. The Hockenby Alligator K-52. I mean, it just looks an absolute beast, and I'm sure people were waiting for this. How many people want to see that in 35th scale as well? Or whatever, you know, that needs to be done. I think there's only a Zvezda kit or even Legacy Larry or somebody in 72. I don't even think there is one in 48. Now, UH-1 series in 48, which they did do. Remember, they didn't do the... This was the first one they brought out, UH-1Y. And from my understanding, you know, maybe a little bit difficult, maybe some areas difficult in construction, but all round an awesome kit. And this kit had cooperation from Floyd Werner, who was, you know, well-respected modeler, aviator, etc. So he had involvement in this kit. This is one kit I really want to get. Why haven't I bought it in the past? It's only now that I'm getting, obviously thinking now, is it going to disappear? I need to put my, you know, money where my mouth is and get this kit before it disappears or before it becomes, you know, hiked up in price, whatever. So, and then also the DH-1Z, and I think you'll see the Whiskey was announced. I imagine, again, it should have been a popular kit. Again, cooperation with Werner's Wings, so you expect there to be, you know, a reasonably good model. The Cougar, again, I suppose that would have been interesting to you know, carrier fans. Okay, this Banshee, I don't know anything about. It was released. And again, we've got Lightning 2. Flying Flapjack. Yeah, they put themselves out there, didn't they? They brought out something that was experimental. And I'm sure, again, you know, it was well received that somebody actually brought out that kit. Etendard, 48 scale, Academy do it. Is it better? Is it worse? I have no idea. But it was in their catalogue. Okay, we see a WZ-10. I have no idea. I think this might be Chinese attack helicopter. Announced in 2021. Did not appear, will not appear. So again, another didn't happen. Now, here's the other area of Kittyhawk as well that they did. They jumped into the Soviet Russian modern jet age, Su-17. That was previously, I think, KP had a kit in 48 scale, so they brought out their version. From what I've heard, a reasonable kit. Also available by, I think, Hobby Boss or Trumpeteer Tool One. Hobby Boss, I believe, do Su-17. They brought out all versions. And you think as well, I think you would see, thinking back, when that kit was announced, I think Trumpeteer, like a month later, brought theirs out. So a smaller company, and it seemed Trumpeteer are quite aggressive in sometimes combating against other companies, and you wonder if Kittyhawk may have been subject to a bit of that. Speculation, really, but it just seemed that way to me, that when they brought out a kit, Hobby Boss seemed to be right behind them, bringing out their version, probably cheaper as well, So it affects the market. The Su-34, this, the Doc, I think one of the first kits they brought out of this kit in 48, and then Hobby Boss brought out one as well, right on the back of it. Which one's better, which one's right? I think there was some debate about it, about the shape of the nose. I can't tell you. I'm not an expert on that kit. I don't really know too much about it. But they did that style. Here's the UH-1D. Again, this is another kit that Werner's Wings, Floyd Werner, was involved in. He even did an excellent review. Look for his review on this kit, and he's honest enough to say that there's still some errors in it, but generally it's a great model. And I'm talking not about errors in build, but he tells you how to build it, he tells you how to improve it. And I think he even did an upgrade kit for it. But that UH-1D Vietnam era, I mean, who does not want that? That I'm going to actually probably press the button on that today and give you guys a review of it, because I don't want to miss that kit. I think it's like, if you are in aircraft, and it's iconic. To me, it's like as iconic as a Spitfire, the Vietnam era, Huey. So that is one I need to get. What are your feelings, guys? Is that one that you feel now that I really want a Huey in my collection, I better get one? Because previous to that, I think you only had something like a monogram 48 scale one. It was, really showing its age, and then they did that, and all this time I never ordered one, thinking it would be available perpetually. I'm sure that we'll see the Hueys in 48. Somebody's going to buy them. Yak 130, again, interesting release. Probably massively overshadowed by the Zvezda kit. The Zvezda kit is considerably cheaper and is fantastic. Now, I'm not saying that Kittyhawk version is not, but if you've got a really awesome model that's cheaper, which one are you going to get? And again, it's a trainer. This Yak 130 is the attack version, but is it popular? Is it well known outside of former Soviet Union countries, Russia? Probably not. Just my opinion. They brought some ground equipment vehicles, these Urals. They went into that foray. Weapons kits as well. That was pretty good. Not many people do that, so they had some, ancillaries for your dioramas in 48 scale. They didn't 32 or 35th, but they did 48. Now the flankers, they brought a lot of flankers, and from what I've heard, not a bad kit. Before this, you had basically academy stuff, but again, if you think, Sukhoi 27, I tend to look at Great Wall Hobby as just being the sort of, the one that I want. And when you see in terms of pricing, they're on similar parity. I wouldn't be able to tell you which one's better or worse. But for me, I just think GWH would be my go-to, and even more so now that I'm Mini Base as well. I've stepped in there. If Mini Base are going to bring out a flanker, I think they've announced one. That would be another area to look at. So that might have been a factor for them, combating GWH when they brought out their flankers. This Whiskey Cobra, we won't see it. Announced in 48, cancelled. They didn't announce a 35th scale one, and in any case, Academy do an amazing. Well, they don't do the Whiskey, they do H1Z, Z. And again, here's another one. Su-25K Frogfoot in 48 scale. Announced, eagerly anticipated, and of course, we're never going to see it. Cancelled, did not appear. They got up to the box art stage as well, and I don't know how much investment that takes, but just didn't happen, and people wanted it. So who's going to step in there? Who's going to produce a new Su-25 in 48? I would love to see one. I'm not too enamored to build the 32 scale Trumpeteer one, just because I'm moving away from 32 scale. It's just too much shelf space, and the detail in 48 is more than adequate for me. Okay, another flanker again. The two-seater variant, flanker C. Probably a good kit. Tell me your thoughts. Any of you guys who are building flankers out there, I think a few of you are following me now. Tell me your thoughts on the Kittyhawk flankers. Are they good? Are you going to miss them? Did you want to see more? And of course, we've got the J16, which is the license-produced Chinese Air Force flanker variant, if you want to call it that. They got the license to make them, so they did that. And then we got another one, the Su-57, announced in 2020, cancelled. Who brought out Su-57? Zvezda did. So if you want a Su-50, you can go to Zvezda. You wonder if their production team were continually getting stumped as they, brought out kits and they just didn't happen, And then this is the last one. Here we are. Here's MI-28N. This is as far as they got in a Nochnoye Ochota. They got this drawing and announced, cancelled. So that's it. That's the extent of the catalogue from Kittyhawk. I think, I'm pretty sure we're going to see the 35th scale HH60s. Somebody doesn't buy them. There must be money to be made by them. Some of the aircraft as well. I'm pretty sure I'm hoping, probably just because of my own bias, the UH1 variants in 48 scale, I would expect to see them again by somebody. But let's talk a little bit about Panda as well. Everybody's forgotten about Panda. Panda also announced their closure. Let's have a little chat about them. Okay, let's talk about Panda Hobby. Panda Hobby are a bit of an enigma to me. I just think that they got off to a very bad start, is just my opinion. And as you can see, only 45 kits in the catalogue. Still a significant number, I suppose, but what a really mixed bag in their catalogue. Let's have a look at it anyways and just discuss some of the items in there, and I'll share my thoughts, which might not necessarily be yours. Now, the first one here is this the Husky VMMD, which I think is a great subject because it's interesting. But at the same time, AFV Club also brought one out, and again, I haven't seen many of these being built. I don't know if it's a good kit or otherwise. It might be, it might be exceptional, but I'm not sure. As a subject, I think awesome, really, really awesome they did that. 1/16 scale, 38T. I had no idea this was in their catalogue. It's in their huge monster series, of which there's only one 1/16 scale. I think somebody else does a 16th scale 38T, but I can't think who. I didn't even know that was in their catalogue. 1/16 scale heavy infantry gun. It says it was it was never released. Yeah, it was again they follow the same pattern as Kittyhawk of here it is. We're going to bring this out. It doesn't appear, and that was announced 2015. I don't think anybody batted an eyelid, to be honest. The MRAP, one of the earlier releases, I heard it was 2011. First of all, they were one of the first companies to bring this out. Massively overshadowed by what Riot Field models have brought out. Now, I heard that there was, it's a difficult kit to make, but again, you need to sort of be careful. I mean, in some cases, it's just the way it is. Some kits are difficult to make, and I think the kit is complicated, difficult to make, and it's your first release. You're probably going to suffer from the feedback, and I think Panda was very much part of that. The subject's pretty good, though. That they did an MRAP. Tunguska. Again, when this announced, pretty biggish news. I think they're one of the first ones to do it. But again, which manufacturer do you think of when you think about contemporary or Sovo-Russian air defense systems? I just think Trumpeter immediately as just bringing out stuff non-stop, This came out, credit to them, they did it, but again, it's just like one of these subjects that just doesn't seem to have that mainstream appeal. And if you're a small manufacturer, I think you need to get, massively appealing subjects, not niche subjects. Some niche subjects will be popular, but probably not. Cougar, again, another great subject. That's the smaller version as well. Meg phenomenally made a mess of theirs by doing it in the wrong scale. I'm talking about the 6x6 version. But I don't know if that's a good kit or otherwise. I mean, how many people build them? I haven't seen many built. That's all I can say, BMD1. Heard it's, again, a challenging kit to make. Let's put it that way. Especially around something to do with the tracks. But BMD1, the fact they brought it out, I think, the fact that Trumpeter didn't bring one out maybe tells you something here that, at the moment, there's the Legacy, like Larry Zvezda BMD1, and there's this one, and it should be a, interesting type subject. It's got some history to it, Afghanistan war, etc. But I just don't think it became popular. Whatever, they did it, and nobody else has done it since. Object 279, one of their first releases. At the same time, I believe Tacon brought out their 279 as well. And they get a very niche subject, this very strange, atomic-proof tank with this strange hull structure to prevent it being blown over or knocked upside down from atomic blast. Unusual for sure. Popular kit or otherwise, not too sure. Marder 1, a bit of German armour. Again, self-propelled guns. Is that, going to be mass appeal? Probably not. Here's another MATV with the MRAP. So a different version of the Crows too. So they, bring out different versions of the same kit. We've already discussed that. The Tor, I think it's one of the very first kits of the Tor. Zvezda's bringing out theirs now. What does it look like? Again, air defense. It's like a big box, yeah? Has it got, major appeal? Probably not. You know, even now I'm umming and ahhing. Do I get the Zvezda one, which I can pack full of resin extras? The reality is I'd probably only be getting it because I can buy resin extras, and I probably wouldn't be getting it for the subject. Thor. I don't know. It's a niche subject again, not widespread appeal. BMD2, they brought it out again, so they, some appeal, but again, niche sort of vehicle. Now, see, this is the thing at the moment. You see that there's nothing mainstream in their catalogue. Small manufacturer. They brought out the T14, which a lot of people I think did want. At the same time, of course, you've got Tacon brought out their T14. Zvezda have got an excellent T14, which is, let's just check the price. The price here is, it's varying from, about $50, $60. Zvezda one I can get for $20, $25. And again, T14, is it popular? It's interesting, sort of, to me. It's a new tank, but I don't think it's got that widespread appeal. T15 as well, so which is basically like a T14 except the infantry fighting vehicle. Niche appeal again. Now I've heard feedback from friends of mine, that are very competent builders. I'm not talking like guys who just throw kits together, but I mean guys that can do scratch building. Really experienced guys said that this was a bit of a challenging kit. To be polite. I don't know. Again, like unusual subject choice. ZTZ99A, I think straight away about Bronco brought one out. So this is the Chinese main battle tank. Limited appeal outside. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be one or two guys that are building these, but Chinese or PLA army subjects, they just don't have that same sort of appeal as like an Abrams or like Leopards, M60 Sherman, all that sort of stuff. So it's again another niche subject. It might be a great kit. I just couldn't tell you. Kurganets, pretty cool vehicle actually. Now this one I really like. I'm going to buy it. Absolutely not. I would wait and see if Trumpeteer brought one out. I like the look of the vehicle, but if I'm totally honest, speak from the heart here. I already sort of have a feeling that I don't want to buy Panda. It's not. I know it's not the right opinion. I shouldn't really voice it, but I'd rather buy Trumpeteer. I know Trumpeteer. I know they're good. I know they got together, and then I've heard negative things about Panda, so maybe I have that bias built into me. Even though I really would like that, I would defer from it. And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. It's just that's how Panda did suffer when they brought out their early releases. That there was some feedback that wasn't favourable, and it's just caught on. The boomerang, I certainly would not buy from Panda. It might be a great kit, but Zvezda's out. The Zvezda one's accurate. It's well researched. It's awesome, and this is priced at actually not too bad. A 30, 35 euro. Maybe about $40 mark. But again, Zvezda be the one to get for me. And this is Object K16. I think this is a prototype, not even the operational vehicle. So I tend to go for basically we like to build the operational ones. Another MRAP, the Paladin, overshadowed by AFV Club with their version. I heard that this again was, maybe a bit of a difficult build. Not too sure. Still interesting subject. I do like the Paladin, but now credit to them. They did bring out the Abrams early, so this is without the big difference here. It's like 105mm gun, not the 120 smoothbore. the early Abrams, so like, deploying into Germany, in the 80s, that sort of thing. They brought this out. Well, read the reviews yourselves, guys, and you can judge. But again, there's so many Abrams out there, and again, it's that appeal. Which Abrams do you choose to build? I would choose to build one operational, be it from First Gulf War, and I think actually I do cover that in the other one. I think that this one's more like, First Gulf War, but I would definitely look towards Tamiya, Academy, Dragon, Fantastic, all the others. So they just got so many Abrams out there at the moment, and we just don't know. Buffalo 2, again, Bronco do this. Looks good as a kit. Again, something niche again. The Max Pro Dash niche kit looks fantastic as a vehicle. Have a look at my review of the Bronco Max Pro. It's complicated. This one might be better, might be easier to build. I don't know. I haven't seen many built. I just couldn't tell you, to be honest. The Buck M1, air defense system again. Who brought this out? Straight away, I know Meng did as well. And air defense systems, again, a bit niche. Just doesn't have that widespread appeal. But it's in the catalogue. And they've got a few more of these, again, something unusual. French chassis with a self-propelled, with a German gun on it, a self-propelled gun, Second World War. M8, only kit I know of this one. I don't know much about the vehicle. I think it's like a replacement for the Sheridan. I don't know if it's operational, if it's a prototype or whatever, but they did do that kit. I think could have been, favorably received by, fans of, US Army armor, basically, but unknown, really. This one, hey, I know a lot of people want this, and basically by this stage, I know that Panda kits were getting better and better. So this is one of their most, 2018, a couple of years old, and I've seen this built up. It looks absolutely amazing. It looks really, really good. Nobody else does one. How unusual, what a niche subject. This is like something that I would buy, and I already, a few of my friends are like, squabbling to get one because they wanted one. It's just looks cool. It just really does look cool. So Panda, hopefully we can see you again. This, a few of your kits again. Same as, obviously, we're talking about Kittyhawk. ZBD04, so this is PLA Army, again, infantry fighting vehicle. I don't know if anybody else makes it. Again, if you're a fan of PLA, you'd probably get one, I suppose. Another PLA vehicle. Another Max Pro variant. Striker Dragoon. Right, now this one is one that I would buy myself. I like it, but maybe not enough. I don't know. I heard it's a really good kit. It builds. I've seen the build-ups. Looks really good. I've had a look inside the box. Looks really good. Again, this is one of the later ones. I haven't heard anything negative. That's what I can say. I've heard that it's a good solid kit. Striker Dragoon. So you've got the Striker chassis. You've got that cannon on top. Has some appeal. I think. Could be. Koalicja, so the most modern howitzer, self-propelled howitzer, did not come out, will not come out, announced 2018. If you want one, Zvezda do one, at a very good price, very good kit. You'll never see that. The T15 with the 57mm, this was, this actually came out, and I no, sorry. I thought Zvezda bring one out. They aren't bringing one out with the 57mm, or are they? They're bringing out something. You have to check. Sorry, guys. Check Zvezda catalog. I think they're bringing out this version or something very similar with a larger gun. Looks amazing, to be honest. The kit obviously dates back to that earlier one. I don't know if it's good or not. Just haven't seen many built, and that's just the way it is. These, I think this will be excellent. This looks really, really good. I hope somebody else does it. This never came out, never will come out. I really like this with the trailer, the MATV with the trailer. I think somebody else needs to do that. Liefield's models, I think if they step up to the plate here, do that, I think it'll be absolutely superb. What an awesome looking combo. You know, it's just a pity, really. We won't see that. Again, okay, light. This looks good. Main battle tank, but again, PLA. So if you're into that genre, there you go. And then they brought out a few aftermarket parts. So workable track links for the Tor M1. Also, they brought out track links for the T54, the RMSH type. So late tracks. So these are just ancillary items. The mine roller they brought out separately. That could be, you know, I mean, if it's good or not, you know, you could probably mount it to other kits. And that rounds off the Panda catalogue. So that's the end of it, basically. All I've got to say on it, you can, you know, there's going to be lots of speculation. You can make comments, whatever you like, about Kittyhawk Panda. Don't gloat about them closing down, guys. You know, I think it's unfortunate, but it happens. You know, it's the reality of, you know, all businesses. But what are your guys' thoughts? Are some of you just absolutely clamoring to buy some of the Kittyhawk, some of the Panda? Did you even know about Panda Hobby? Panda Hobby, how often did you see them on the shelves in your hobby shops? Did you ever, were you waiting for, or were you disappointed about releases that never came out? Share your thoughts, share your opinions. We can debate about it. We can even do like a live discussion if you want. But we're going to see a few more videos coming up. I need to get this one out because it follows on to my next couple of videos that discuss something else. Probably the most important thing for modelers, to be honest. But anyway, this is Bear. I'm out of here and see you next time.